Hello everyone and welcome back for a new episode of Let's Play Star Traders Frontiers. This is NoName and I wanted to make a small special episode this time just to make a quick recap of everything that happened in the last 5,000 turns, which is almost 10 years in game time. And let's jump right into it. I'm gonna try to make this quick and concise. So we are on custom max difficulty with the following crew, and I'm gonna talk about the strategy that I applied for those first 5,000 turns, which came from various failures before this run, as well as from thinking beforehand, and the strat I will apply. I'm considering to apply then, and I will try to recap the main events that happened in this playthrough so far, hoping that I won't end this playthrough in just the next episode. So let's go. So basically, the main 10 major things I had in mind as a strategy for this first 5,000 turns was to first survive, obviously, for my captain. The rest was expendable, but they survived, that's better. Overall, to maximize my income per week, this led to me choosing a very fast ship and trying to optimize my logistics and pick talents for better landing and consuming less time and less fuel and whatever. Although the fuel probably is the thing we spend the most credits on, because almost all the system we have an F rating regarding fuel. That's unfortunate, but that's the deal. So maximize income per week. Overall, be extremely cautious in every choice. Do not take any risk. Take as many talents as possible for skill saves. Not taking any risky missions. I failed to apply this perfectly, and things went sideways. I will explain that later. Avoid any mini games unless the odds of picking a bad card are acceptable in terms of first odds and then impact. And in this regard, I think starting with an assassin was not the right choice. I told you that I wanted to try this as a frontliner, but I should have been more secured and more cautious about it, and should have taken a commander or something like this, and not a frontliner fighter, which obviously does not fit that overall strategy. But I've been stupid, and that's something I will have to deal with. My assassin is likely going to die sometime in crew combat. He once went to something like between 50 and 60 HP, I would say, in one specific combat. I lost an assassin in this difficulty setting fighting Aldo Bastial, the VAT monster in the Zitis arc, and this time when I was recording, we dodged that fight and lost 1.1 million from the quest in this regard, but that was the cost of survival. I avoid any ship and crew combat, and I still do. I do now do crew combat since I acquired rather quickly my first real upgrade, the weapons locker A6. I removed any gun. I don't have anything to shoot for crew combat. I never got involved in crew combat actually, but I picked various talents for that, for any escape talent should the combat start, or especially skip up the voids. The main strategy here was to meet Erik Calagan, get the first mission from him, the story mission, unlock Saere Vento, our contact here she is, do a few missions with her so that her influence will grow and that she can like us, and hire navigator ASAP at level 15 so that our navigator can get the talent. Right, it's not a navigator, my bad. Navigator, here you are. So that we can get, so fast getaway first, but mostly, where is Skip of the Void? Skip of the Void, that's the same icon, but you get the drill. So picking those kinds of talents as much as possible to prevent any ship combat. I also died at the difficult setting meeting either spies or bounty hunters. I also picked obviously Stiff Salute at level 1 immediately from commanders or other classes. So yeah, my idea was to accept crew combat only when I had the weapons locker built and by any means avoid ship combat at all cost. Being overcautious also in fuel management to be able to do an hyper wrap jump for Skip of the Void and repair my engine as soon as it was damaged to make sure I could do further Skip of the Void tricks, because it damages the engine to be able to fulfill that talent. Other the two remaining sub-strategy I had was to first keep friendly with everyone as much as I could, not get something like below -10 rep with anyone except for my nemesis faction, which is Rychart in this case. And yeah, I get as many as many missions as I can against Rychart to get as many money and has everyone else like me. I was extremely unlucky in terms of diplomatic events. As you can see here, I have only Spy Wars, Duel of Assassins, Trade Bans and so forth. Not necessarily involving Syndicate Rychart, so well, now I have to, but it wasn't always the case. So I don't have alliance and trade alliance that much, almost none. So I wasn't able to really help multiple factions at once and get rep with them along the way. So I managed pretty well overall in that area. I'm pretty satisfied, but that's what's part of my strategy. Even if I can get a lot of money by betraying like the Kadar Syndicate, I don't want to do so. And I try to get a lot of money from assassinating or whatever Syndicate Rychart guys. And the last thing I had for my mission was to start buying and pimping bigger ship while I will still be moving with my smaller one to keep getting some money during the upgrades, which is what I did. I now have this ship currently being upgraded in the Javat world. I still lack the weapon A6 small components I will have to build. I will have to manage my mass at the same time. But yeah, I'm about to jump in that new ship and I will have to further pimp it obviously, but it's already quite a decent one. So I felt it was a good moment to do this recap. What's gonna be the strategy from now on in a nutshell? Well, obviously still survive, first one. Second one is gonna be maximizing the defense of my ship, because I intend to start ship combat at some point via boarding mostly, which will require a lot of various upgrades, but mostly I want to make sure that I have enough electronics strong dices, which I have, and plus 6% defenses from the defense part in Matrix 4, overall increasing my defense wall in ship combat. Third point, I will need to hire many normal crews, like for pilot, ship ops, electronics and navigation dices. I will be able to do so because I will have 18 rooms for crew, so I will probably hire like level 1 of each of these classes, and I will start replacing them via two means, which are my sub-strategy 4 and 5. I will want to get some conscript later on if I can. So if I do some boarding and leave some ships alive with some crew in it, and that they are high level or max level to some degree, which is gonna happen much quicker than usual, considering the difficulty setting where enemies have a 200% growth over time. Yeah, I will replace them with higher level conscripts that I will hope will be with decent trades. There are talents for mitigating the risk of bad trades. And I will as well hire many special classes, like maybe one extra scientist and mostly commanders of various type to increase my command value, because this is one of the most important ones in this pool of extra skills. I will need an extra doctor, maybe a scientist will do, because I fail a lot of roles in that area. Maybe Xenoscout or and a merchant, obviously. One merchant. I desperately need at least one merchant. So, but I will first need to be able to build my ship. 6 sub-strategy will be to increase my safety rating. I already changed the ship on that bigger ship, which is not the best one, but considering the difficulty setting, I think, I'm not sure, but as time goes by, the void roles for navigating, piloting, doctoring, commanding, and so forth will get quite tricky and quite hard to succeed, probably impossible actually at some point. And so I wanted to increase my safety rating as much as I could to face dangers while flying. So I have a base 9 here. That's the best engine I have, up from a base 4, if I remember correctly, from the best possible engines. That I advise you to take on other difficulties, but that's just my drill. I will take a Zenrin officer's quarter that grants plus extra safety, and those fuel boosts from Java grant plus 1 as well. I might want to go up to plus 6, which is the maximum you can get from the rest of the equipments, apart from the engine. But if I get to, yeah, the more the better, but that's not necessarily an obligation to get to plus 6, I would say. So that was number 6. Number 7, I want to get some launch bays, some large ones, because they are good, I believe. Let's see. Ignore min. Probably get that one, would cost probably 4 million actually. Which will allow me to launch smaller craft to, well, I could either attack the enemy ship or defend my own. I will only defend my own against enemy smaller ships as well, enemies crafts. That will allow me to get one officer. That will increase my fuel storage and increase my jump cost, unfortunately, but that's something I want because I don't have any guns. I so far do not intend to have any. That's the first time I'll do this with a big ship. I don't know if it's a good idea, but we will see. But yeah, I intend to win ship fights by boarding the enemy crew and fighting. Thus, guns are not necessary. That would be still a nice addition, but if I want to survive at that difficulty setting, I might go either all in or all out, and I will go all out, in terms of guns. So yeah, that's more or less it. I will need probably 3 bays, replacing this level 1 cargo bay, this battle probe 1, and this fuel boost, most probably. And it will bring me more extra electronic dice along the way, actually, which is what I need for defense overall, except against enemy small craft. And that's the reason why I'll pick this ship as well, because it has a maximum rating of avoiding small craft attack of 78%, which is the highest I could get from a mass 9000 ship. I will get a bridge that grants plus 15 evade craft, and 3 Sea-Tag from Zenrin that grants each plus 22% avoid craft, so that should be fine. because that goes to 81, and I will hit the threshold of 78. That was number 7 or 8, I can't remember. Then, regarding reputation, I intend to, if I can, obviously, get to max reputation with everyone in terms of military rank, trade, contracts, and edict badges. So that's 21, level 21, level 4, level 9. I already achieved this with my main faction, which is doable because edicts grant -1% per edict for components. A principal trader because I could do a bit of trading despite having a very low cargo space, and yeah, military rating because it increased the rewards for missions were so far the main income we had, and I still intend to apply the same logic, except this time I will be able to do some fighting missions in terms of patrolling, blockading, and so forth, which wasn't the case so far. The drawback is that my ship is going to be money sink in terms of credits for fuel mostly and travel time, so it's going to be much harder in that regard from now on. So get full rank with everyone, and last but not least, I have been very unlucky in terms of salvaging and so forth, and I would love to get either good contacts that could sell armors or equipments of all sorts. I already have my accessories, but I don't have any armors or weapons, either from contact or salvage operation, and I intend to get some whenever I can, but that's once again my cautious side, my prudence, that led me to not get any so far. And by doing so, I will be able to remove the weapons locker A6 and put something else instead as a small component. Well, that's more or less it for the strategy. That was a 17 minutes. I hope it wasn't too long or too boring for you, but I felt it was useful to share this overall vision of the game. I skipped many sub categories and sub thinking, but I hope you have a rough idea of where I am going and why I chose this and that previously. If you have any comment on this, I will be very glad to have your own opinion of that. Or if you have any question as to why this and why that, I would be glad to answer, but I would prefer actually to have your own thoughts and help on surviving longer in this playthrough if you have anything to share. Then, regarding what happened in this playthrough, I will talk about the crew first, then the ship, and then everything else. Regarding the crew, I roughly had, I think, a 6 out of 10 crew at the beginning. I did not have any major. I had to fire like 5 people, I would say, from bad traits. I didn't count, but I would say around 5, which is slightly above average, I would say. Usually I'm more around 3 or 4 out of 22. The good side is I had a decent medic, mostly because she had the fleet-footed trait. Do not consider her current initiative because she is equipped with initiative boons, and she got headstrong, which is nice early on for extra wisdom, so extra initiative, but that's not a good thing in the long run, so I will sack her later until I find a better one, but I couldn't so far. So I got like a 6 out of 10, I would say, starting crew. We had a 4 out of 10 soldier that I replaced since then, and a 4 out of 10 swornman that I replaced as well. Except the guys I recruited since then are actually not that good either. This guy has plus 10 wisdom as an accessory, so don't consider his high initiative at the moment, but he's not very good. He's quite not good at all, actually. So I would have loved to have better replacement, but all the adventurers I picked from my contacts got very bad attribute scores, but that's the way it is. Even my spies didn't get high wisdom, and my diplomat I rolled twice if I remember correctly, for her to have decent charisma, and she also have the +10 wisdom accessories that I purchased, so hence her incredibly high 40 wisdom. This being said, yeah, the crew was normal at the beginning. I think it was worse going forward. I obviously got very bad luck in terms of the traits I gained on my fighting captain, mostly combat nerve, that I still cannot remove. I have to find a contact able to do so and get friends with him, but that's not the case yet, and I'm pretty pissed off about that. And that's the way it is, and that's greatly contributed to my frontliner assassin to get injured during combat. He's still alive, but that mostly is going to be the reason why I am going to die. Either I'm going to engage in a ship combat, I am going to lose, because I might not be ready yet with my new big ship, or I will get 2 or 3 bad rolls in a row and I'm gonna lose him in combat. So rather average starting crew, poor new recruits, a few close calls in terms of fighting. We did not engage Aldio Bastian, as I mentioned, but we did all the other standard fights. And yeah, regarding the crew and moving toward the ship, of what happened with the ship, there is one thing about the skill saves. We have everything at 200%, so we can't do any better in terms of skill save, and yet I am starting to fail a lot. I'd say we failed like we never failed a pilot save. We failed ship ops around 10 of them, I'd say, and they are pretty damaging afterwards. Electronics, we failed 1 very recently, so I fear we might fail more later on. And navigation, I don't think we failed any. We failed a lot of doctor tests already, that's annoying. As for the rest, yeah, intimidate and negotiate, we failed some, I think, in the void. And yeah, that's unfortunate. I have talent manifest, skill save. I have this amount of skill saves to give you a rough idea, and despite having 3 doctor skill save, I failed up to 2 in a row, sorry. 4 ship up save, I failed like up to twice in a row as well. Electronics, I failed only once. Intimidate, probably 4 or 5 isolated ones. But yeah, you get the idea. The difficulty setting is starting to get its toll, and I'm afraid with the new big ship. I never tried a big ship at the difficulty setting. I hope I won't wish to come back to a small one, but we will see. I might want to recruit a lot of standard level 1 crew to help mitigate the damage early on. So that was the transition to the ship and the skill saves. So we have no guns. We probably faced 10 ship combats opportunities, from which we used Keep of the Void, I would say. A bit less than 10 probably, but around 10. I would say we faced 10. For 5 of them we were able to use our various talents to reduce hostility and depart from the dialogue box that was open without using Skip of the Void. And the 5 others we had to use a Skip of the Void, including once twice in a row, or almost in a row. We could land repair, and just after we left we had another one. But yeah, overall I would say 10 ships that wanted to kill us that we met along the 5,000 turns. and the earliest one was around, I would say, 500 or so. So that's roughly once every 500 ton for now. And yeah, and fuel management is quite an issue. I had to remove the fuel, the extra fuel component that I had. So I have to refuel quite often, despite having a small light ship that can fly pretty far for not much fuel. But the map seed I have is quite nice in terms of traveling, but I still have many F-rated systems, as I already mentioned. So that was the crew and the ship. What else to say? Regarding the minigames, I am pretty pissed of what happened, especially on exploration missions. I had some awful odds happening that led me to lost a lot of time, to have many injuries, to lose a lot of morale, to have some people depart from my ship due to the morale. I forgot to mention that, but I had one people leaving, I believe. That's okay. It could have been much worse, but that's still a mistake from my own end. So minigames, patrols, we didn't do any. Blockade, we didn't do any. Spying runs, we did a few, but we have already 3 spies in our crew, so we could mitigate the risks pretty well, and everything went pretty fine. Salvaging, we were very unlucky. And exploring, as I mentioned, it was absolutely crap. I once traveled all the back to the back of the galaxy to have a hand where I had 3 -5 outcome that were months lost. By far one of the worst card. I had 3 of them in one hand for a mission that I was 1 year from the end. Actually, it was ZT's story mission, if I remember correctly. Well, that's more or less it. I think I said everything that was to be said in that small recap. Hope you enjoyed that special episode. If you did, please, as always, leave a comment. Like, you know the drill for the YouTube algorithm god. I will probably write very brief description of the past strategy and the upcoming one that I mentioned earlier in this video. I will probably write it in the description of that video, so if you have any comment, please do not hesitate to refer to it and help me in that adventure. And this being said, I hope you like this half an hour recap of this Let's Play Star Shadow Frontiers series so far. As always, take care of yourself and see you soon for the next episode, guys. Cheers!